In today's video, we not only went a perfect 6-0 undefeated record, but we also were able to deal out 16,000 damage in a single attack. So you guys are in for an absolute treat with this one today. It is going to be a Jeskai tokens deck, and it's built around things like Saheeli and Rabble Rousing. Saheeli being a planeswalker, that's fantastic for this build because it creates not one but two Thopter tokens that have flying and haste, which is great because if they can attack on the opening turn that they come into the battlefield, they can trigger things like Rabble Rousing, which can double up those tokens very quickly, which is important because we have things like Devilish Valet, which is the reason we were able to deal out 16,000 damage in a single turn, because Devilish Valet doubles its power every time a creature enters the battlefield. And with this particular build, we can get upwards to 30 creatures onto the battlefield in one single turn, which is insane with the Valet. We've also got things like the Iconoclast and the Baird. Baird is going to create a 1/1 token at the end step, as long as you know your creatures have, if you have one creature with a higher base power and toughness of its starting point, which we have ability to do that all the time. And then the Iconoclast creates 1/1 tokens every time we cast a non-creature spell, and 90% of this deck is made up of non-creature spells. So these synergies are high here. The idea is simple: go extremely wide. These creatures get buffed and we smash the opponent's face. It's very simple. You'd be very surprised how effective that actually is right now in standard. But as always, guys, there'll be a full deck breakdown at the end of today's video. If you want to stick around for that, we'll talk about the deck in full. If you guys enjoy content just like this, if you wouldn't mind giving the video a like, subscribe, all that good stuff helps out an absolute ton. But we're gonna jump right into the games. Hope to see you guys at the end. Till next time, peace. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are playing some tokens. One of my favorite things to play always, man, is tokens, and we're gonna be doing it today in Jeskai. Jeskai is a color scheme that I haven't tried it in yet, but I've seen a lot of Jeskai decks out there that are running tokens right now, and it's been very good. I've actually lost to a couple of them, so I'm gonna be giving that a try today and see just how well this deck is gonna perform. But we go second. Let's hope the opponent's not running aggro. I really hope not. I do apologize. My allergies have been pretty rough these last couple of days. Fighting through those right now. And the opponent's on mono black. Bank Buster comes down. They're looking like they've got a pretty decent start here. Hopefully the deck does provide us with a blue source. Beautiful. Hopefully the wedding announcement's good enough for us, but I would imagine it's either going to be Shieldred or Liliana here. Either way, it's not going to be very good for us. I'm not going to block this. I will take the damage because these 1/1s can become much bigger threats down the road, being that we can flip this and we have ways to pump the squad with other tools. I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn. Pass the turn, create another 1/1, and this opens the door for exotic pets or the negotiators. Either way could be pretty solid for us depending on what they play. They are in the the range of Invoke Despair, so a negotiators would be pretty busted right about now. Invoke Despair. I really do hope it is an Invoke Despair. That would be such a good counter spell for that. There it is. Whoop, there it is. Give me that token. Blow up the Invoke Despair. And now we got a good block on the underdog with two of these. I'm actually just going to chump with one because, again, this flips over. These all become 2/2s. I think I really can't pass up that value here. I'm going to allow the underdog to stay alive on the field. I definitely don't want to double block it. Nice. They're too afraid to attack anyways. Good stuff. Okay, we sort of have the same sort of game plan here. Another counter spell, maybe a double Invoke Despair gets hit, or I could go Wedding Announcement again, but I don't necessarily think I want to. I think Exotic Pets is just fine as a backup. All right, we get another token, everything flips, and we're looking at 2/2s across the board. Please be another Invoke Despair. That would be beautiful. I would love nothing more in my life than to counter 2 Invoke Despairs. All right, no attacks from the opponent. I figured as much. Let's go here. No Invoke Despair came down this turn. It's not an instant speed card, so there's no fear to throw down these little guppies. Looks like they've got some sort of kill spell to activate at some point. But they're a little late because now things are going to get really good for us here. Rabble rousing, baby. Let's go. I would imagine the opponent's probably not too happy with this resolving, but it does open the door for them to cast spells next turn, which, I mean, Invoke Despair could be one of those spells. I would just be giving up the wedding festivities, though. It's not that big a deal. Not to mention whatever rabble rousing hits here with this hideaway, we're going to be able to cast it immediately. So, because we do have a field full of creatures here. There's the go for the throat. How about another one? They're just trying to avoid me being able to get the hideaway here, which is pretty smart. But I mean, it's still pretty brutal that this is resolving and not much they can do about it. Guess we go for the burn down the house. Not the card I wanted, though. That's not what I wanted for Christmas, but you know what? I'll take it. All right, next turn is going to be absolutely bonkers because we do have Devilish Valet. All right, down to 12. Now let's see how ridiculous we can actually get this Devilish Valet. Hopefully we draw a land so we can go Valet into exotic pets. And then hopefully our opponent's nice enough and kind enough not to scoop and they take the full amount of damage, which should be up in the hundreds for sure. Assuming again we get that land, but probably not going to get the land. Either way, Devilish Valet should be at least 100 damage. I just got to hope they don't have another kill spell, though. If they have some sort of kill spell here at instant speed, Valet is definitely not going to make it through this next turn. It's a pretty good sign that they don't. One card in hand. They're still in the range of 2 mana, which does indicate kill spell range, but... Ooh, here we go. Draw a card. Please draw a card. Just make me feel better. Do not concede. Do not concede. At least let me see how big this Valet gets. Let me see how big the Valet gets. Please. 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 Please hear me out. Please hear me out. Please hear me out. Oh, they're gonna concede, man. Don't concede. Draw a card. Draw a card. Yes. Yes. Draw a card. Thank you. Cool. They have no kill spell. Now let this all resolve. Just let it go. Just let it go. Oh, they have a treasure. Cut down? Yeah, it's cut down. They just drew a cut down. Or they can crew the Bank Buster. I guess that's what's triggering it. Crew up the Bank Buster. I just want all the priority holds to stop here. Thank you. Nice. Now let this go through. Let's go. Here we go. Ready? Let's see how big the Valet gets. Please. Yes. 2,000. Even more. How much more thousand? 16,000 damage. Oh man, 16,000 damage from the Valet. That is absurd. There you go. Block it. Definitely want to block it. Oh, the Valet is so broken. It's so broken. Let's go. 16,380 damage. Overkill. Yikes. Well, I'd say that was about as good of a start as you could ever ask for. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with the way that went. No problems on my end. Jeez, man. That had to have been my record, I think, for the most amount of damage I've ever dealt in a single game. That's for sure. And we've dealt some big ones before in the past. Okay, well, this is tricky. The opponent is playing... The opponent's playing Delver on mono blue, which means this is either a tempo deck or some sort of mono blue counter style deck. Either way, not fun to play against, but I do have, if I can get the Iconoclast to resolve, we'll be in good shape, just because it does allow us to create these tokens whenever we cast spells, not necessarily resolving them. So there's some value to be had there, but this does have to resolve. It's going to be tough to do with things like make disappear, and what else would there be? Essence scatter, things like that. Impulse is fine. Perfect. Okay, so third path is going to resolve on field. Impulse does go off. No one really cares. Okay, I need a 3-drop now. Just gonna curve out nicely here. This is gonna be tough to go up against, though. I do need Saheeli to resolve if I'm gonna have any success against this, because it does have the the flying ability, and Saheeli does provide us with some flyers. So I'm hoping that that'll be enough to get it going. Looks like a Fading Hope maybe in my future. If that's the case, though, I'll just recast it. It's not a big deal. I don't have any 3-drops anyways. Now I'd be a little bummed that they hit it with the Fading Hope. Impulse? Nope. Fading Hope. Nice. Nice. Okay. That's a bummer. I won't lie. That is absolutely a bummer. What are the odds Saheeli resolves right about now? Probably slim to none. But again, at least it'll get something out of their hand, right? And I have a backup, so I'm gonna have to keep throwing this at the fire, even though we know it's gonna get countered. I gotta keep throwing these out, keep on loading their hand here from spells. Spell Pierce. And another Consider. That's gonna be the second Consider. I don't know why I thought that was the third Consider. All right, what do we want to do here on this next turn? Because if Saheeli gets countered again, it's not gonna be very good for us. So maybe we try to resolve a Burn Down the House, or maybe an Uprising. All right, I'm definitely gonna try to resolve a Burn Down the House. Try to sweep the board here. It's very unlikely that we get countered because they only have 1 mana left. They would need specifically a Spell Pierce, because these don't discount anything like the Jhin does. So they would absolutely need a Spell Pierce in this spot in order to counter me. So I feel pretty good about that, seeing that they've already spent, 1 Spell Pierce. What are the odds of them having a second? Pretty slim. A Fading Hope, though, does bounce one of their creatures back to their hand. I can live with that. I can live with that. Especially the Terror, because the Terror is a creature that, resides down low, so being able to avoid its damage by just getting 1/1s out on the field is what I would like to do here with the Iconoclast. All right, and then this is not going to resolve more than likely with the stutter there on the priority hold, which is why I'm going with the Uprising as opposed to Saheeli. Saheeli is a much better card, I believe, in this spot. Nice. At least the Iconoclast gets the 1/1. We can make a block on the Terror. And then everything I cast from this point going forward is going to create extra 1/1s for blocking. So until we see a Jhin come down, we're in okay shape. Come on. I have counter magic this time, so hopefully this can resolve. No, thank you. All right, Saheeli is down, which means we get to go ahead and look for some more cards. We definitely don't want to land. That we do want, though. I suppose we can attack here. We don't have any reason to not attack. We're not blocking with the Iconoclast. There's no shot in that happening. I think we might be okay now, guys. We might have stabilized a little bit here. I'm gonna save the artifact creatures as opposed to the human, because we can draw cards off the artifact creatures, and we're gonna keep doing so.
Improve on ancient design.
That's a card. That is a card. Scorn. Dang it. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. I am going to go with the Stesnia Uprising. And Saheeli's going to be able to pump up all of these artifacts with its ultimate ability. So that's kind of nice. We're getting close, man. We're getting close. We're grinding them out. We're definitely outvaluing them in the late game here. Sheesh, that's a card. Okay, I might have to create some blockers up top with Saheeli here. So that's a fine card. I don't love this. I really don't. I'd much prefer to just yeah, I'd much prefer to just draw cards off of Saheeli, but creating the flyers is a must-have right now with the Sphinx going off. So all right, we're gonna be losing some artifacts now, but we got to keep pushing the damage here because we're grinding them out slowly, man. It's working out. These both have ward on them, ward 2 and then ward 2 as well. Got to keep that in mind. I could have killed one of them with the Aganjo, but I don't think that's necessary right this moment. We can or maybe it is. Maybe we do it now. All right, there's the scoop. Beautiful. All right, the opponent didn't want to see any more. I don't blame them. It was going sideways for them towards the end there. We were definitely outvaluing in the late game and looking to grind them out the rest of the way. So, GG's. Another great game against a tough opponent in mono blue, man. A very tough opponent. I feel like I played it pretty good up until the end there. I definitely probably should have pulled the trigger on the Seed of Aganjo, or the Seed of the Empire a little sooner. I'm gonna mulligan this. Not gonna work. At least I have a white source with this one, so all I'll need is just one land. You know, I wouldn't normally keep this, but in this particular instance, I am going to because I don't want to mulligan twice. That would be really bad. All right, preferably I'd like to see another white source though, so I can get down the trenches at some point. Blast Zone and Golgari mana. Very interesting. It is another white source. Love that. Can we keep the same energy though going forward? Can we draw into another land to maybe get down a Saheeli? That'd be great. Stomper brings out another land, but it does mean that they probably missed their actual land drop, so that might be their only land for the turn. Just kidding. Immediately, I'm showing the door on that. All right, let's go with the Saheeli, create 2 Thopters, or maybe it's the Uprising. Maybe it's the Uprising. It's a tough decision, to be honest. But getting 2 more 1/1s here feels pretty good, seeing as we're going to be pumping up our battlefield here with both the wedding announcement and the trenches. I think that's a pretty good feeling. Awaken the Woods. Okay. And they just awoken the Stomper. Yikes. That's a card. That is a very good card. Is it 7 damage to any target? Any target. Nice. Let's go wedding announcement one more time. I think we go wedding announcement past the turn, look to get another token or 2, and then everything flips over. Interesting attack from the opponent here. I think I give them that, to be honest, because if we find one land, we're triggering the rabble rousing, which is pretty busted. I guess we're only really losing one of these though if I go like this, which I like that trade, so I'll take it. They may have some sort of effect here that allows them to sweep the board, maybe. Board up to Phyrexia. Okay. Well, at least we got plenty of these things to spare, huh? You do hate to see it, though. That does feel pretty bad. 9, 10, 11, 12, and then this will be 13. Can blow that up. There's nothing in the graveyard for them to reanimate either, so... Seems good to me.
I can be dive like hawks.
Do it like so. That seems fun. All right. Now they've just got a bunch of 1/1s. We drew an extra card and we're looking pretty good on that rabble rousing. Oh, I forgot they could actually reanimate it. That was a huge misplay on my part. I completely forgot about the portal Phyrexia. That was silly. Oh, wow. I feel really dumb. That was my bad. I'll own that one. That was just an outright misplay on my part. Completely botched that one. I do wonder if they're going to throw away all these little land creatures away on the Saheeli to die. I still can't believe I did that. Completely walked into it. Are you serious though with this not finding a land situation?
Think swift like a Felidar.
Thank goodness. All right. Can we do this now? And now we don't even 1, 2, 3. Oh, we do get to trigger it. Okay, good. All right. Whew, I thought we were not going to be able to hit this. This is actually busted if we get this off. All right. All right, we're getting some double blocks on these. That's fine. That's fine. We can only kill one of these, so that like so. All right, everything's a 3/3 now. They get back their Shigeki. That doesn't feel very good. All right, please don't blow up the rabble rousing. That's all I care about. Because if we can get off the into the trenches with it, as well as this one, we're gonna be doing some really nasty things, man. Man, the fact that I didn't get that land though, and I wasn't able to hit the hideaway on the rabble rousing right away is just absurd. I should have been able to hit that land after so many draws. Shouldn't have had to use Saheeli's ability. But it was, you know, it happened. So that's Arena for you, man. Can't trust the cards always. All right, an interesting attack. We have another really good double block situation here. And we're still left with what, 2, 4, 5 creatures, which is perfect amount to trigger the rabble rousing hideaway. Not to mention we could just get the third iconoclast in, as well as maybe an in the trenches. We're totally fine here. Like, this is not bad at all. All right, iconoclast in first, and then the trenches. All right. And then we attack. I do want to draw a card though, so I am going to actually tap one of these Thopters here, which is a bummer. I would like to get that into an attack, but it's fine. These are still plenty of creatures here to try to get the job done. Trying to kill this Ren in 7, to be honest. All right, everything I own here is a 5/5 now, so these should be pretty powerful ways to get through. I didn't realize they were going to be that powerful though. We could have killed Ren in 7 with the simple over the top with the Thopter. This has been a basket of misplays on my part. Just been, you know, just kind of rushing my plays here a little bit, but it's still fine. We're well ahead of the opponent, I believe, and even though they just found the Titan of Industry, I'm still in pretty good shape here. Because I would imagine they'd want to blow up, you know, the rabble rousing, right? Or not. I'm okay with that. All right, so they still have the Stomper in the yard, so that's the next thing they're going to be bringing back. Something to keep an eye on. They left us still with the rabble rousing though, which is really strange. Double portal to Phyrexia though. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The comments about how many misplays I made in this round, not necessary. I completely understand. I already know. I made some big ones here. I probably could honestly have already had them dead, but we should still be fine here. All right. I say we go with the hasty flyers because they go over the top and they're gonna be big. And I also think that
Coming
I should
at
spend this mana here to exile maybe the Titan, because that's going to be 8, 16 guaranteed over the top. And then they have what, 4, 5, 6, 7 more creatures to block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be lethal. That should be lethal. Let's go and snap up the Titan here. I took the scenic route, guys. I took the scenic route, but it's fine. And we get 11 more 4/4 bodies. Just absolutely busted, man. Into the trenches for the win here. I did not think today we'd be actually activating Into the Trenches' ability to exile things, but here we are. But just too much damage for the opponent to take here. It's just going to be an absolute damage fest over the top here with all these 4/4s. Like I said, we got 16 alone here, and then what else is happening here? 16 plus 24. That's just enough, actually. We get them down to -1 here. So as long as they don't have a way to gain life here, which Shigeki just did his ability, yeah, that should be perfect. All right, let's go. -1, just enough, man. Beautiful. You know what's also beautiful is the fact that they ran Blast Zone. Blast Zone is not very good against tokens because it actually comes into the battlefield with 1 counter on it, and these are 0s, so it doesn't actually work very well. It would be a busted card if it did work on tokens, though, I'd tell you that. GG. All right, well, we did just win another game. You guys aren't going to see it. It's one of those games, you know, I've got to cut out of the videos because the opponent is just, you know, not necessarily roping, but taking really long for their decisions, kind of eats up a lot of the time, and they didn't hit a lot of lands, so they were kind of out of it early. So we did win. That's nice. But I did want to apologize one more time. Just I feel really bad all the time that, you know, sometimes I'm misplaying quite a bit with that last game. Obviously pretty messy. I do know. No need to let me know. I'm very aware of a lot of the times when I'm misplaying. I try to, you know, learn from those mistakes, but it is tough when you're playing a new deck every day. But I do feel like I'm evolving here and there as a player sometimes, and then sometimes I do some silly things that I just cringe at. All right, I got an Iconoclast in the wedding announcement. We really couldn't ask for a better start than that, so this was a snap keep in my opinion. Orzhov colors from the opponent with some life gain lands. That's something that we got to keep an eye out for. Could be a very much a Voice of the Blessed type of a deck, which is a very one big creature situation where we got to figure out how to deal with. All right, definitely gonna play this. Get the wedding announcement down. Iconoclast goes off. Iconoclast gets killed. They should have done that before I got the 1/1 out of the deal, though. So value there was made. Now I can double attack next turn. Look to get some card draw. Never mind. Ah, interesting. Not the tactic I thought they'd take there. I think this might be the move here. Liliana down. Looking to draw a card. We get a counter spell, which is actually pretty nice here. Depending on whether or not they run Invoke Despair, which I'm sure they do. Sure enough, I just unfortunately didn't have the time to set up for the counter spell. It's pretty annoying, I can't lie. All right, we're gonna get the Devilish Valet in though, and we still have a really good counter spell for this next play. Hopefully it is another Invoke Despair. I'd love to blow it up. I guess we can't really stop that. Well, can we? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we can't stop it. So we'll have to let that slide through. All right, same sort of effect here. Devilish Valet. Same sort of counterspell hold, but this time it's a little bit better because we can actually create a token off of this counterspell. I also could go exotic pets, but I think there's more value to be had in the fact that we could exotic pets on our turn, getting the Devilish Valet into a 4-powered creature. Huh? Huh? They don't like that. There's got to be something here. Wandering Emperor, screaming Wandering Emperor vibes, but they don't even have that. So I don't know. A lot of kill spells from the opponent so far. It's basically a mono black deck at the time being. Yeah, there it is. There's their big shebang, but it's not going to be enough. Sorry to burst your bubble here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oh, just to put the nail in the coffin if it wasn't already close enough. GG's, my friend. Wow. That was a top deck of the century. We didn't need it. It was definitely lethal, but GG's. Definitely feels like this could go undefeated for us. You know, it's a long shot, but we may be able to pull that off. I hope so. I hope you guys are enjoying today's video too, by the way. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate that a lot. Looks like we are going first. Okay, going first. I like that. Opening hand though. Opening hand's a bit sus, I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking for a land here, but I can make it happen. I mean, just any land in general. I mean, a red one would be great off the top. That would definitely make our hand amazing, but a bit unlikely that happens. Very specific card there. All right, come on, it's all together. Pray that we hit that third land drop. This was a bad keep on my part, but you know what? I had to try to make it work. It was just too good of a hand not to keep, and unfortunately we missed it. That's on me though. That's on me. The only good news here is that the opponent is also on one land. They didn't actually keep. Okay, well, if they only knew. You gotta read the room, guy. You were just in a bad, you know, you might have been in a bad spot, but so were we, my guy. They were really upset about that one land, but we got away with one here. We got away with one. I would have been willing to argue that the opponent had a much better position than we did. Mono red with 1 mana is a lot better than my deck with only 2 blue-white sources. I tell you that much. I was specifically looking for 1 color source. They were good with any 1 land, so surprised they gave that up. All right, looking to hit the Iconoclast here early. Follow that with Stesnia Uprising. All right. Interesting. That was a really, really good top deck. Not to mention the opponent missed a land drop. What is going on with that? Need my opponents to stop missing land drops if possible. I'd like to just play a game where I feel like I earned the win. You know what I mean? All right. Building the board presence pretty heavily here. Looking for a big rabble rousing that I can trigger the hideaway immediately. Looks like they've got some form of kill spell and they choose to take down. Exile target creature mana value 3 or less. Okay, why would they not take out the Iconoclast? What am I missing here, guys? What in the world is happening? Oh, well, I guess we'll take it. I don't know. Can they not kill it? Hold on. Exile target creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of plane. Oh, mana value. Oh, I thought it was... Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood the card. Okay. Now I get it because okay, got it. Roger, got it. I'm the silly one. It's me. It's I'm the problem. Oh man, I am so tired. Okay, Stesnia Uprising seems like a good choice because we could potentially just blow up the opponent. All right, everything's a 2-2. Looking to close the game out simply with the trenches. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I'm not closing nothing out with nothing. All right, that was a good play. Into the trenches is not a card you see every day, so I definitely respect it. I'm gonna go with an immediate reset. Immediate reset. Do you have another one? You sure do. You sure do. I'd expect nothing less from a gamer like Magic Reiki. Mad lad. All right, let's go with this. And we'll flash in the exotic pets, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually, I think I should decline that. Because if we get blown up again on this turn with some other sort of effect here, we're gonna really regret it. All right, that's fine. We definitely win this game if that's the early play. Looks like it is. All right, cool. GG's, my friend. Just go off. We could have won that in so many different ways. Rabble rousing was a choice, obviously. But man, what a game. Dude, this deck is actually pretty busted. That will conclude today's gameplay portion of the video. We are going to break the deck down and talk about it a little bit more in full. Before I do that, though, I want to give you guys a huge shout out for sticking around into the late part of this video, because it helps a ton with the YouTube algorithm when you stick around this long. It means a lot to me. So thank you for that support. I do appreciate that a ton. And I'm glad you enjoyed the content enough to do so. With that being said, let's take a look at the build, man. It was a blast to play this thing, man. I mean, Jeskai Tokens, again, has been around for a minute now. People have been playing this deck and finding a lot of success with it. So I wanted to try it myself, see how good it could just be. And let me tell you guys, might be my most powerful deck right now that I'm currently playing. And it's all thanks to things like Saheeli and the rabble rousing. Saheeli is kind of the build around here today, if I'm being honest. Saheeli is just a really cool planeswalker that I like to try to take advantage of as much as possible. And today it works so well in Jeskai Tokens because, you know, you get good planeswalkers like Wandering Emperor in this build, of course, but they only create one token at a time. Saheeli creates two, and not to mention these two that they create, I know Saheeli creates, both have flying and haste, which is really, really good, especially because we have things like rabble rousing. So if we have rabble rousing on the field, the opponent blows up the board, we can then reload with things like Saheeli very easily, put these Thopters on the field, attack, creating two more attackers next turn. So it's nice to easily reload that way. Not to mention burn down the house, same sort of effect. These devils come in with haste, we attack, rabble rousing creates more threats, and you've reloaded the board again. So there's a really nice way to kind of reload in any sort of situation as long as you're getting swept off the field. Hopefully that doesn't happen, though. You don't typically want to run into sweepers when you're running token decks, but if you do, it's got a nice little rebuild plan. And then also, hold on one moment. Excuse me. Also, our early game, we're going to need to get some tokens down fast and early. So we got things like Iconoclast and Baird. Baird was a really cool addition to this deck, a little bit late into the deck, but I wanted to add this because we were running things like Into the Trenches. So there were a lot of ways for us to get our creatures to a higher power level than where their starting point is, which allows the Baird to create these 1/1s on the end step every turn, which is really, really good. Plays with the deck extremely well. And then we've also got the Iconoclast, which of course had to be in the deck because Iconoclast is going to create these soldiers every time you create cast non-creature spells, which again, this deck is made up of mostly non-creature spells. So this was a no-brainer. And then we running Jeskai colors are allowed to run this really cool counter spell, which I've been a fan of for a long time now. I've been running this in a lot of my token builds, but Protect the Negotiators is insane. Being able to counter things for 2 and make them pay whatever the amount is of mana based on the number of creatures you have works extremely well in tokens. Not to mention you can create a token off of this if you want to kick it for 1, which is really, really silly. And then we got Wedding Announcement because it's the best token card that you can have in any token build, of course. And like I said, Into the Trenches, fantastic here for the Baird, at least to get the extra token every time. But I mean, if you have a field full of tokens, I mean, you're gonna want this on the field because it pumps them up just like a Wedding Announcement would when it flips over. And I've actually been able to use the exiling effect on this thing, which is actually extremely good in the late game. If you have a good board state, they're trying to block, you pull something big out of the way and attack in, you got yourself a win con there. And then we've already talked about the Devilish Valet, an absurd card that just, as you guys saw, can meme on people pretty hard. And then I went with Exotic Pets here because Exotic Pets is an instant speed create 2 tokens, which is actually really, really good in a lot of spots, especially if we have like an In the Trenches down or a flipped over Wedding Announcement. These come in as 2/2s, which can create some flash blocking opportunities that are really, really good. And then 2 Wandering Emperors because of how good the card just is to remove things, but not only that, create tokens, +1 on things, which helps the Baird grow. And lastly, we splashed in 2 Stesnia Uprisings. This card is plus and minus, right? There's plus that it has the ability to blow things up for 7 a lot of the times, but in a token deck this wide, where we go extremely wide, extremely fast, we actually tend to have more than 13 permanents before this even hits the field a lot of the times, which is why I only splashed in 2, because there's only a few spots where we actually had it on the field and we're able to blow things up. And a lot of times we're blowing up permanents on the field and not necessarily the opponent's face like I thought we were going to, but still a very cool card, a very good card, and I think it works really well, backing up like Wedding Announcement right into the Uprising. You're never going to stop creating tokens, which is really, really cool. I think that's it though. That was the entire deck. Those were all the cards in the deck and how they work. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, man. This one was an absolute blast to play. Not to mention I like winning, so that was nice too. I can't seem to lose with this thing right now. This is definitely, I would say, on the craft list if you guys want to do it. But thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Tomorrow there'll be another video coming out, and the video, I think, which deck is that going to be? Oh, it's going to be an Esper build with draw mechanics like Quasar, Shieldred, and the Puppeteer to deal damage. A lot of fun. We had a ton of really good games with that as well. But before we get out of here, as always, a huge shout out to every member of the Mardu Mob. If you guys don't know, the membership program on this channel, we call it the Mardu Mob, and these people help support the channel through their monthly memberships. So of course, at the end of every video, I want to make sure I give a special personal shout out to all of them for being part of that and helping the channel grow, and you know, just making the opportunities on this channel a lot better. So thank you so much for everything. I appreciate that a lot. And a little bit of news. If you're part of the Mardu Mob, we do have a box of Brothers War. So we are going to be opening that as a members only video coming up very shortly. So be on the lookout for that. That'll probably be out next week sometime. But thank you for everything, guys. I appreciate you for watching. Thanks for making it this far as well. And thanks for supporting the channel. I do appreciate it. With that being said, we'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Until next time, peace.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. The name is Swayze, no Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the mythic, yeah, that's magic. MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. With the upload, man, man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap.